Now, this is on their second day of the camp, and we're trying to actually fix a couple of things. Some had to do with the sequence of your footwork, um, and try to give you a little bit more sequence rhythm going to the foul line, which was pretty good before. But I like to see the not shuffling of the feet and not sliding, which is a weight of early weight transfer. Okay, and so we want to go a little bit smaller on the first step. Two should be long, three should be long, not as much as two, but in your that's the right sequence. Okay, the best sequence is actually a medium step, long, a little bit smaller, shortest, then you slide. Because if we're going to go from here to there gradually, that means that on every step it should go smaller and smaller. Okay, except for the first step, because in five you just want to get in motion. It's just to get you in motion. So the first step is a half step or something like that. Then it should be the longest, and then shorter, and then shortest, and then you slide. And then from 4 to 5 you should keep the same amount of back angle. It keeps going lower and lower with your back until you get to four step, and then you sustain it and you get to the foul line. You don't want to be going backwards at the foul line, nor coming down. So if you look at that, your second step should be the longest. Okay. Yeah, because it was too long before. So that is the right sequence. Now you have to feel small, because the reason why it got so big is because you got so much going forward that it was going too big. Okay, so that's okay. So that's a full step. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put circles between your feet so you can see the sequence. Okay, and that's your slide. Okay, so that is the right sequence. Medium, longest, shorter, shortest, slide. That's a perfect sequence to weight transfer, and the perfect sequence um, to sequencing of your feet. Now, when you're throwing the ball, that's your back angle, and in the fourth step, kind of that way. So it's fairly similar. That's close enough. So all of that thing is pretty good. Okay. Now the only thing, so this is, I would say that that's a very good thing. Now I don't think that is going to give you a much better score than what you normally do. I think it's better, and it's going to be a lot looser, mostly when you start engaging a little bit less on your shoulder. So that's going to have some improvement. But I think that the biggest improvement should come from the ball, instead of being there. Okay, that ball needs to be a little bit more here. Okay, so that means the ball should be, see, this is your ear is here, should be there. Okay, because what happens is, see that little bit of a gap that you get over here? That's a little too big. I like to see that ball more there. Okay, which is about, I wouldn't say half a ball, but it's about maybe a quarter, which is about an inch or two. And that's quite a bit in terms of where you are. Because if I actually see your right eye here, okay, okay, that's where it is. Now we need the ball, the center of the ball to be with your, see right here. That's what it needs to be. So the ball should be more there. That's where the ball should be, right underneath your face. Okay, that's where we need the ball to be, more here. And that comes from this. That little gap is the same amount that you got on this side of the head. See right there at the end, the center of the ball should be more over here. It should be over there. And that's because your hand is a little bit over there also. And that's because it comes from here to there. So what we need to do is to get the ball is a little bit more here on top of the swing and not this way. And it's not a lot, but at your level, we need to get it in a better place. Okay. For just about everybody else that's here today, that would be pretty good. For you, we need to get a little bit better. And let's see where that comes from. Okay, we're going to see that from the front more than anything. So let's do that. Okay. Again, we want the ball a little bit more here. Center of the ball should be more there. So the ball needs to be a little bit more there. And I want to see this arm more forward. So this kind of goes a little bit this way. That's the position of that from the elbow to the hand. So it's a little bit that way. Okay. Now, right away, you see that the ball goes towards the outside. Okay. So because it started here and it has to clear the hip, so that ball is likely to go to that hip over here. And if I continue that, it's going to end up over there. So the higher it goes, the more that the ball is going to end up on that part of your head instead of on the other ear. Okay? And that all comes from starting a little bit too much on the left side and moving the arm that way to get around your hip. So that little circle over here ends up on the other side. Okay? So how we're going to do this? Well, we're going to move the ball a little bit to the right place, and we're going to attempt to get the ball, placing the ball right on top of your right leg, right there, right here. Okay, so instead of you moving away, you're going to go straight, and then from here, the ball has and your shoulder have no other choice than to go that way because it's going to be in here going this way. Instead of being here coming behind you, it's going to be left like a figure eight coming this way. And then it's going to get on its own, it's going to get in the right place. I don't want you to bring it back to where you feel is behind you. I want you to feel like you're going to go to this leg and allow it to swing away from it. And you're going to leave it there. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So give me a ball like that. Okay, we're still inside. That was a lot better. Now, one thing that happened is the ball got a little bit lower, right? Because it has less room to go. So that's actually was very good. So let's do one more time. Come over here. I'm going to show you. So now I'm doing a figure eight drill, so we keep it in the videos that you take, so you see what it looks like. We're going to cradle that ball to the left. This is a big exaggeration. So we get a huge coming across the body, okay? And I don't really circle the shoulder forward. Okay, I kind of keep that shoulder very idle, so when the disc goes across, it doesn't get behind me. If I actually turn my chest and my shoulder, then I'm going to not gain very much, okay? So right there, okay? So now we're going to do it. Okay, so if you see that, for as big as that loop was, so this is a big exaggeration, but the shoulder is not opening. If you see my shirt, still faces forward. There's nothing that turns, and when the ball gets into there, now it gets right there and under my face. Okay? That's the essence of that drill, just to stop the ball from getting on the other side. So now what happens now, Robert, is that as we get used to doing it, then the next one is going to be less to the left and less to the left and less to the left. So ultimately, what we want is the ball to actually be coming to the center of this leg. This is the arm to right there. That's as much as we're going to do. So now it's going to get a lot less than that. So I'm going to show you one, what that looks like. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like. Just to the middle of that leg. See how it's a lot less than before, right? And if you look at from behind, that ball is going to not get behind me. Okay? So that ball never gets to be on the other side of my head. And if you actually look at the right ear, just right there, on a straight line, it's right there. So that ball should be in the center of the ball, should be there. So it's right over here. So I'm going to put one on this side. Straight line over kind of there. Okay? And that's where the ball needs to be. It never gets onto the other side of the head. Okay, so the moment we go less and less and less until we just get half of the ball right onto my leg, which is at the end what we want to have is when you take that step. So now I'm already stationary. So you have to feel that that second step of yours is totally straight. That's the feel. So when you do that, the ball is already encountering it. But if you go that way and then you pull the ball to here, then you're going to end up behind you.
I think that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking I got to step
No,
out from the front of the pole. I think that's why I'm crossing over so
most
much.
people do
Yeah.
move, but the crossover is even a bad word or a wrong way of saying it.
Yeah.
Because when you say it, you're telling your brain that's what you want to have happen. So crossover, you don't want to cross over. You want to step in front or to step over, like step to there. You don't want to cross over that foot. And you have a wide shoe, so that means if you go over there, that's about 7 8 boards. And then what happens is the hip goes this way, and you have to clear it because if you start with the ball in the middle of the body, okay, and you go left, then what happens is you have to clear. In your case, I'm going to go back to um, what you were doing. Let's go from the front. Okay. Okay. So now what happens is you have the ball is here. Okay. And your hip is here. Okay. So this side of the ball has to clear your hip, right? So it's a long ways to go for that to happen. So you can't let it swing. You're going to have to bring it around the body. So when you look at how much you need to move this foot so it brings this hip way over, now you have to move this foot all the way to there. Because you're trying to create space, so now you have to overdo it. Now, if you're over here and you feel like your next step is straight, then you don't need to do all of that. It's much easier to do. Okay. Right now, there's a lot of compensations happening in that sense. So we don't want to get the ball in the middle. You don't want to go over crossing and taking the ball, tipping it out. Okay. So let's try that again. We're going to go in your mind totally straight on that second step with the ball. With the ball. We're going to do that and then take the ball towards the middle of this leg without going over. So you're going to start over here. You're going to take a step straight and the ball is going to go left a little bit. That was very good.
Hit my leg on the way by, but other than that.
That was very good. That's the last shot we did. Let me clear that. So now that's a very good position. I still like to see the ball lower, but that's okay.
Lower, okay.
Yes. You certainly don't need to create more swing. So one, very good. That's a last straighter.
Yeah.
and it's actually closer to the leg. It's actually pretty good. Okay, that's good. So now I'm going to help you as you do it. So let's do it one more time.
I'm looking at it. Oh, that's a new one? You just gave it to me. Yeah, I haven't even grown it.
Let's see this.
7/8 on.
That's in a good place. Go there, you can more your shoulder. That's it. That's straight. So what I did was I helped you out here to let your ball not come this way. And when you come here, I actually try to bump it a little bit that way.
I didn't even feel that.
Okay.
I felt you pushing it early, but I didn't.
I went like this, so it went like that.
Right.
And then when it came back, I kind of
Yeah.
right
I
here.
saw it when you're there. I didn't. Never felt it.
Now you're much where you need to be, much closer to where you need to be. Okay. So that was actually pretty good. So that's the cut. That shoulder stays up and the nose comes out of that. It stays on the wall. You're gonna go from exaggerated. Like that.
No, no,
Just like that. Okay. Goes to the wall and it stays on the wall. Pretty good. Okay. You see that exaggeration? That's pretty good. You see the string kind of catch on fire again. It's got more feeling. Okay. So that's actually pretty good. spreading exaggeration. I'll show you what that looks like. See how much straighter that is on top of the swing?
What I tried to do is when I started, just to go in just a little bit,
Good.
just push the ball from down here in just a little to get myself to come out.
But that's very good.
Yeah,
So when you look at that, you have axis tilt.
that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, that's very good. It's right above the horizontal and is towards that area. So please blow that up. So I would say that you have something just above horizontal is that is kind of horizontal. Kind of perfect right there. Okay. So I would see that being just here somewhere, right? Kind of like that. Okay. So if this is 90 degrees, that is 90 degrees right here. Okay. So this is 90 in terms of axis rotation, and halfway here in like 45, that's kind of like 30. And then above horizontal, then it's going to be like this is 90, this is 45, and this is so this one right here, this is from where it is, that would be kind of like maybe 10 degrees. Like that. So still about, so that's going to be rounder. That's actually pretty good. That's actually very good. So
Now, is that the indication for my axis point? Is that a change from the way I've changed my axis from going five, 5 1/4 by a quarter up to 7/8 up? Does that affect it, or is that?
it may or may not,
Okay. I'm just wondering why, because I know it's up higher than it used to be. That's why I'm just curious.
because the ball is in the back. Because the more that you get away from you, and the more you want to roll it, then you have to kind of go this way, and then you kind of go. So the thumb went down a pound. Clockwise. It's kind of like a full rollerish kind of release. Then you can actually lower. Good. Now do this. That's perfect. Do this. And that is very good. So you have to feel like I want you to exactly where you have like both arms go in. And when you let the ball go, it goes down straight over. You want to fall from here. This one stays over here. This one stays over there. Yeah. The second step was perfect. See, as you're trying to go that way, and you don't try to get away from it. Now that's
So I stopped. First, I did that on the first. I was like,
now that one was very good. Kind of in front.